Welcome to week 15 of the This Week in Film podcast.
Oh, yeah.
The show where we get together, discuss the movies we watched over the past week, and that is all. I'm Nick Paranto.
I think we should start over. I think you should take the headphones out. I feel like it's making you laugh more.
I'm Nick Paranto, joined as always by Ray Radaminki, and this week we're joined by Keith Seddon.
I'm Keith.
That voice you hear is Keith.
That's
Those
me.
golden tones.
Thank you.
Charlie's not here because he's off promoting his new trade paperback of his comic book, Boy Zero. Check it out on Amazon.com.
Way to go, Char.
Nice.
But diving right into it, Keith, what'd you see this week?
All right. This week, I didn't watch the original. I didn't watch the second one. I didn't watch the third one. But I watched Bum 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 Jurassic World.
This isn't what you talked about the first time we did this.
I know, because I saw another movie this morning, and man, you guys see Jurassic World?
I
Jurassic
did, yeah.
World was great.
Jurassic World.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad we all agree.
You hadn't watched it before?
No, I had seen it before, but say it's on HBO now, so I watched it a second time.
Keith, you're really watching a lot of HBO.
Well, I'm paying for it, you know?
yeah,
you might as well get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Jurassic World is pretty much Jurassic Park except 2015. And I mean, this is years after the tragedy. And at this point now, it's like the Disney World with dinosaurs, and is run by this guy, Mr. Masrani. And Mr. Masrani's like a millionaire / amateur helicopter pilot, and he shows up to the park, and he's like, "Where's this businesswoman I'm friends with?" And she's like, "I'm Claire. I'm the businesswoman. I'm Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3." And he's like, "Oh, Claire."
Stop.
Of course, there has to be a Spider-Man parallel to this.
Spider-Man 3, better or worse than Spider-Man 1?
It's very, very, it's far worse than
So we're going to say
Spider-Man.
borderline.
So Claire's like, "Hey, Mr. Masrani, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, well, how do people feel about the park?" And she's like, "Well, they like dinosaurs, but it needs to be more scary." And he's like, "Guess what? I got this geneticist, Dr. Wu, from the first movie, and he's making a scary monster. He's got this Andromedus Rex."
Dr. Wu's the guy who bred raptors.
Well, in this one, he makes the Andromedus Rex, which is like a bunch of classified dinosaurs put together.
It's Indominus Rex.
Whatever.
Yours is a dinosaur that...
Mine's
They
Andromedus.
both sound stupid.
Right.
Let's just put that out there.
Well,
Both
this
of
is
those names are stupid.
and like the Androgedus Rex. Might be
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
what you said. That's what you said.
This is all happening while people are like doing gyrosphere tours, and they're hanging out with dinosaurs and riding baby triceratops. And the island's so big that like Chris Pratt, who plays this character Star-Lord, is training all these raptors. And he's training these raptors, and he's the alpha. He's like, "They listen to me." And then Vincent D'Onofrio comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Where do you keep your raptors?" And he's like, "Oh, they're animals. They're not weapons. You shouldn't mess with them." He goes, "Oh, they're not going to be matter anytime soon." And then Claire's nephews show up on the island, and they're automatically, you're going to hate these characters because they're kids. And you're like, "Oh my God, I got to deal with them." And she feels the same way. That's why she's like, "I'm going to go hang out with Jake Johnson in the back in the control room, and you can hang out with my assistant."
Jake Johnson.
Exactly. And
Wait,
Jake
time out.
Johnson
Sorry.
and Laura
More
Lapkus,
annoying, the kids from this movie or the original Jurassic
This
Park?
movie.
this movie,
This
definitely.
I don't know.
These-
I was
man.
always annoyed by the little kid in the original
no
Jurassic
way.
Park.
That kid was awesome.
And this
I don't
one,
know,
they're
he
like,
always annoyed me.
"Mom and Dad are
Lex
fighting.
and,
Send
Tim.
us the
Tim,
Jurassic
yeah.
World." Nah, this is Gray and whatever. I don't remember their names, but they were annoying.
Haircut and D-bag.
Haircut. The one kid's just got like a total like all the time for women because he's 15 and girls, and he's always staring. And the other kid just wants to be a block all the time. I liked the movie. It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
It was very entertaining.
It was very entertaining.
Keeps-
It's not a good movie, but I enjoyed the
Exactly.
hell out of it.
It's got a lot of eye rollers,
Oh, yeah.
Like kids getting chased by dinosaurs, and the one kid's like, "I'm not jumping off this cliff," and you're like, "Get in that pool, kid! Jump off this, get in there!" Or like Mr. Masrani, he's like, "I'm gonna go catch this androgynous Rex. Put me in this helicopter that I barely know how to fly." And then it turns into like the final destination in Jurassic Park because people are getting stabbed in the chest by pterodactyls and getting thrown out of the helicopter.
It is very violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He crashes that thing into oblivion.
Because doesn't the one pterodactyl thing like pick up somebody and then it
Dude.
like drops it
Yes.
into the water?
That is
and
the one point
And then
in the
land
movie
Yeah.
like that shark monster.
Yeah.
that really hurt me because like I liked that's
Are
this-
you okay?
Yeah, because like here's this cute chick who played Morgana in the TV show Merlin, and then all of a sudden she's like just trying to find the kids, And once she finally finds him, she gets like tossed around by all these pterodactyls and then gets eaten by a big whale dinosaur.
Yeah,
Right.
She was just trying to do her job.
Exactly.
The whale dinosaur was very cool.
It was cool.
It ends up eating the thing in the end.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
Yeah.
But isn't that what this
If you haven't
podcast
seen it
is
yet,
about?
shame on you.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, by the way, because all these tourists are walking around the water constantly, and then in the end, this dinosaur whale just eats. It could have eaten anyone at any point.
True.
True.
A lot of loopholes.
But I thought the movie was great. It was a neat little throwback.
Held the
It-
record for best box office weekend for a couple months
Yeah.
until Star Wars blew it out of the water.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that movie. Like you said, there were a lot of eye rolling moments,
I
but
think that's part of
for
it.
the most part, when they
Yeah.
find the stuff from the old park, I was in love because I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
But
Jurassic Park's a
It's
classic.
funny you mentioned that because like those kids is another moment where they're like, oh, can we get these Jeeps driving? And the one kid's like,
Does it
remember
feel
when
like
we
Keith is
fixed up
doing stand up right now?
the kid's like, remember when we fixed up Dad's old Malibu? We can totally fix this Jeep. But it has a good ending, you know, like, what do we do now? We should stick together for survival. And then, you know,
Keith, we don't have the rights to that music.
Is that John Williams?
Yeah. Well, he did the original theme. I don't know if he did the music for the new one. I doubt
Gotcha.
it.
Gotcha.
So Keith saw American Sniper. Keith, please stop singing the theme to
Similar
Jurassic
movie.
Park. We don't have the rights to the Jurassic
There's going to be a
Park.
sequel too. So
Well, yeah, I mean, Dr.
it made
Wu
so
gets
much money,
away,
yeah.
and you
Yeah,
don't
and the
see
new
Vincent
one, Dr.
D'Onofrio
Grant
die.
can talk to velociraptors.
Okay.
great.
It's a theme they didn't explore far enough.
Should have.
So Jurassic World, Keith,
Solid.
great.
Wait.
Second time.
Better
Yeah.
or worse
Than
than
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
1?
1?
It's worse than Spider-Man 1.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Spider-Man 1 we're talking about.
All right, Ray, what'd you see this week?
I saw A Walk Among the Tombstones.
Awesome movie.
Yes, it was very good with Liam Neeson.
Mm.
Going into this, I thought this movie was going to be much like every other Liam Neeson movie that's come out for the past 5 years. Taken, Nonstop, Taken 2, Taken 3.
Edge of Darkness.
Michael
Edge of
Collins.
Darkness, wasn't
Oh,
that?
it
That
was
was
Mel
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson. It's
Sorry.
actually this movie's actually kind of similar to Edge of Darkness.
I didn't. Okay, I didn't see Edge of Darkness, but I got them.
So Liam Neeson is a retired police officer. He's now a private investigator. He is approached by this guy who appears to be very wealthy, who says his wife has been kidnapped, and a ransom was asked for by the kidnappers. He paid it, but they killed his wife anyway.
Right.
Liam Neeson is reluctant at first to get into the whole investigation. Kind of seems fishy. This guy he knows is a drug dealer just from word of mouth, and seeing his house, and guy can't really explain like what he does for a living. So he knows it's kind of fishy. But then the guy shares a tape of something that the kidnapper sent to him with his wife being like raped and murdered. Sets off something in Liam Neeson's head. He decides to get into it. So he kind of delves into this like dark hole, investigating this murder kidnapping. Kind of finds out who it is, and it kind of sets off a whole chain reaction of other events. It's a very dark movie, very violent. He enlists this kid to help him out. The kid he meets in the library who appears to be homeless but also very smart.
Uh-huh.
The kid, I felt, had served no part in the story at all. He was very kind of just thrown in there as comic relief.
Yeah. I
Which
didn't mind him too much, but he
Yeah,
was,
and like I was saying to you guys, like it was a dark movie, and I felt like they threw him in there for the comic relief. I feel like sometimes movies don't need that. Like
Yeah.
it's a dark movie, just keep it dark. You don't need to have a kid like wisecracking jokes every 5 minutes just to keep everything light.
right.
But yeah, besides that, it was very good. It's very dark. I like dark movies. I like grim stuff. Kind of had a little bit of a Seven feel a little bit.
Yeah.
He delves into this investigation. There's kind of like a twist at the end. It was very, very good, very entertaining. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
Not much
I
more to
loved
say
it.
about it. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And I went into it exactly the same as you. I
Right,
thought
so
it was
it
gonna
surprised
be,
me. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be another one of his like throwaway action flicks, and it's
Right.
just a cool detective movie.
I've not seen this movie.
yeah, I definitely recommend it. I don't know how it ranks on the Spider-Man scale, but you'll be able to tell us.
From
Yeah, sure.
Ray's review, I'm sure it's better.
And then this week, I watched the movie Grosse Pointe Blank, John
Yes.
Cusack classic from '96, I want to say. It holds up beautifully. I love that movie. And as we were talking before, because this is clearly the first time we tried to do this episode.
Definitely. Yeah.
There's a good lost episode out there. Maybe one day you
Keith,
guys.
you're breaking the fourth wall.
We'll pull it out of the vault one day.
This movie has maybe the best soundtrack of all movies. I love the music in this movie. The plot of the movie is John Cusack plays a guy named Martin Blank, and he grew up in a town of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Grosse Pointe Blank is the name of the movie. It's very clever. And he goes home for his 10-year high school reunion, but there's a twist. His job is he's an assassin. He's a hired assassin, contract killer. That's what we said.
He gets paid to kill people?
Yes. And he's very good at his job.
He's a license to kill.
No.
No?
He doesn't. He's just an assassin. He works. People hire his company who then hire him to kill people.
Children, animals, I don't care. I'll do it.
I guess.
Okay.
Is that what he says?
I don't know.
remember.
I'm
But he always says, if I show up at your door, there's a good chance you did something to get me there. So he doesn't feel bad about any of it. He wants to get out of the game, and he goes home to his hometown, and he runs into his ex-girlfriend, and he falls for her again, and the movie just kind of goes from there. But it's a great example of post-Tarantino movie making. The dialogue is very snappy. People just talk back and forth very quick. It's a lot of John Cusack being John Cusack.
Classic Cusack.
Classic. Just like when you think of John Cusack, this is the kind of character that you imagine. Like if you take his character from Say Anything and he grew up, and instead of growing up in whatever that, he grew up into a murderer and then had to come back to pick up his girlfriend. That's right, Keith.
I was doing the...
Your eyes.
I thought you were raising your hand like you had to say.
Don't sing songs, Keith. But Minnie Driver's in the movie. She's very good. She plays the love interest.
I can't stand Minnie Driver, by the way.
She's good in this movie. She's cute.
I don't think Minnie Driver's cute.
And Jeremy Piven's in this. He's great. And this is back when Jeremy Piven got a role in every John Cusack movie because they were best friends, and it's great. That's where the classic 10 years, man, came from. But Grosse Pointe Blank, definitely worth checking out.
You said it's
if you
the
haven't
best
seen
soundtrack?
It really is.
Like better than Guardians?
Maybe.
You mean Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
So you just
I thought you were talking about the Guardians
movie?
of the Forest. Yeah.
Oh, Guardians of is
of-
it called the Forest?
I don't know.
Guardians
With
of
the owls.
It's like
Of Albuquerque.
some sort of foreign land.
Right. Grosse Pointe Blank. Definitely worth checking out again if you have seen it, and totally worth checking out if you haven't seen it.
Would you say it's your favorite Cusack movie?
Easily.
Yeah?
Easily.
Wow.
You have a favorite?
1408.
Is that
Yeah, that's
the
a
one
weird-
about the room?
Stephen King.
That's
Yeah.
a-
That's a
freaky
good movie.
movie.
I never
Great
saw
movie.
that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, you know what? I'm gonna go back on that. Identity is a better movie than 1408.
What is Identity?
The one about all the people like at the hotel that end up at the hotel one night.
No, I don't know.
Never
this.
seen Identity?
It's good?
Very good. Yes.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Maybe I'm
Yes.
going to go on a Cusack run like I just went on.
Yeah.
Kurt
But both
Russell.
of the 1408 is very good too.
It's a freaky movie.
Yeah.
I saw
I
it in
haven't
theaters
seen
with
it.
the girl. My girlfriend at the time. Was embarrassing.
I was reading up on the Grosse Pointe Blank, and John Cusack says that the movie War Inc. that came out a few years ago that apparently was terrible. He says it's an unofficial sequel.
Well, you might need to watch that.
I think I will. It's going to be a busy weekend. All right, so that was week 15 of the This Week in Film podcast.
We made it, guys.
Just want to point out again that Charlie's trade paperback of his book, Boy Zero, is available on Amazon.com. You should definitely go check that out.
I got my copies.
Ray, can you let everyone know where they can find us?
You can find us on SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Twitter, and of course, thisweekinfilmpodcast.com.
I would like to plug the video edition of our podcast that's available on YouTube. It's a more condensed version of the show you just listened to, but it has relevant video clips inserted without. It's pretty funny and pretty entertaining. Please rate, like, and review us on iTunes. So, Ray, to answer last week's Ray's Rayndom request, what's your favorite submarine movie? We had a little quiz on Facebook, and we had people grab as many submarine movies as they could think of and post it. And we took their average IMDb score, and the winner ended up being Keith. Second place went to Michael, and third place went to Jill. For Keith's big prize, we figured we would plug his web series. If you go to getbroken.com, you can watch all the episodes there. It's a pretty great show. You should check it out. In addition to that, listener John says his favorite submarine movie is the 1959 classic Operation Petticoat. He says he hasn't seen it in a long time, but he remembers watching it with his dad and loving it. And Ray, send us off with your Ray's Rayndom Rayquest.
Yes, this week I'm going to go along with what Nick was talking about, Grosse Pointe Blank being his favorite movie soundtrack. So I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite movie soundtrack?
Titanic.
Great.
It's a great one.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. And if there's nothing further, we'll see you next week in film.
Yes.
Bye. Bye, everybody.